Hey, what's up guys? Sam here. I probably should not put packaging that was outside around my face, but I did get a very special package in the mail today with a very cool looking device inside, a dummy unit for the iPhone 12 this year. And I've seen dummy units before, and I've seen phones before. This is not only the best dummy unit I've ever seen, this is the best looking phone design that I've ever held in my hand. And while that sounds a bit dramatic, I have a feeling you'll be saying the same thing in September when you traded in your iPhone 11 Pro to get the newest Apple product. This design is so cool. There are so many details here that I love, and I think it is just the upgrade that the iPhone needed. There's no other way to say it. So let's take a closer look compared to some other models. Drop a like if you guys are excited. Hit subscribe for more, and let's take a closer look at the iPhone 12. So like you guys, I've seen all the amazing renders, I've seen the videos that people have concepted, I've even seen some hands-on photos, but up until this point, I've never actually held one of these in my hand. And I have to say, I thought I would like it before. I love it. I really love it when I actually hold it in my hand. The second I went back to my iPhone 11 with the more rounded edges, it was like, this feels okay, but it feels a little bit cheaper. These new phones, regardless if it's the cheapest 5.4-inch iPhone 12 or the biggest 6.7-inch iPhone 12 Pro Max, they all feel really premium. And I think that's probably just because it is a new design, a design we haven't seen on this size iPhone ever before. This year, for the first time, there's going to be 3 different sizes to choose from, but Apple's doubling down on the 6.1-inch size. So there's going to be a 5.4-inch iPhone 12, a 6.1-inch iPhone 12 Plus or iPhone 12 Max, and then a 6.1-inch iPhone 12 Pro and a 6.7-inch iPhone 12 Pro Max. So there really is going to be a size for everybody. And I want to start off by focusing on the smallest one because I thought that the 5.4-inch iPhone was too small. I saw a couple photos, I was like, it just doesn't look right to me. And it was actually the iPhone out of all of these that I touched that I ended up liking the most. Also, disclaimer here, the one part of these models that isn't accurate is the camera module. So if you're looking at that and saying, why does every phone have a triple camera setup? That's not how it's going to look when you buy one of these in the fall of this year. That's simply the model that's been floating around China, but that's not final at all. The design though, the chassis is. I didn't actually realize this until I grabbed my iPhone SE, but the new 5.4-inch iPhone has a smaller body than the SE, and you only notice that when you put it right next to that device. It's weird that a more expensive iPhone that's coming out this year is smaller in form factor than the SE, but I have to tell you, I really like the way this phone feels. And funny enough, this is the one iPhone where I can actually reach all 4 corners of the display comfortably without shimmying or straining my hand. As I mentioned earlier, I didn't think I was going to like it. I thought it was too small. Totally disagree with all of that now. This is a really good screen size. And as soon as you hold one in your hand, you're going to say, oh, wow, it actually feels better than I thought it would. Next up, here's probably our best comparison between last year's iPhone and this year's iPhones because I have both these phones in white. And obviously the new 12 has that iPad Pro-like design. The iPhone 11 looks essentially to me like it looks since Apple switched over to the iPhone 6 design with the more rounded edges. Fun fact about this year's iPhones, you can finally stand them up again. So you no longer have to always get a stand on the side right now. It didn't work that well for me, but you can just stand it up vertically, which is great for all us YouTubers that are trying to get those sick shots. The iPhone 12 Max is going to have a 6.1-inch screen, and in your hand it feels very similar to something like an iPhone XR or an iPhone 11, but I think the hardest choice is going to be whether you get the iPhone 12 6.1-inch or the iPhone 12 Pro 6.1-inch. I think it's also going to be the biggest point of confusion and contention because that's what Apple's doing with the Pro. They're increasing the screen size from 5.8 to 6.1 inches, and they're also increasing the screen size of the highest end model. So the iPhone 12 Pro Max, measuring it at 6.7 inches, I mean, holding it in your hand, it is a large phone. There is no way to get around that. It is a girthy thing to have in your hand. Here's the smallest iPhone 12 next to the iPhone 12 Pro Max. There is a very large size difference there. So really, no matter what you guys are looking for, there's supposedly going to be a size for you, whether it's 5.4, 6.1, or 6.7 inches. Of course, though, we're only talking about the exterior upgrades today, the new chassis, because that is, I think, the most radical design, but obviously Apple's not just changing the chassis and nothing else. I feel like that wouldn't be a very compelling reason to buy a product, as if it just looked different. That's a big part of it, and I'm really happy that that's happening. But on the inside, Apple's obviously going to use a Faster A14 processor. On the highest end models, there's going to be a LiDAR sensor similar to what we have on the iPad Pro. You can see a lot of inspiration from the iPad Pro if you just even put them next to each other. I mean, it's very clear. The stainless steel band, the aluminum band around it adds a nice touch to the iPhone, but we all know where we saw this design first. And that really does match up with what Apple is doing with this phone, because it is going to be a phone of first, something that we can't really say about the iPhone often. It's going to be the first iPhone with 5G. It's going to be the first iPhone with a LiDAR sensor. It's going to be the first iPhone with a 120 hertz screen. With an A14 chip inside with this new design, but also the first iPhone without a charger in the box. I'm not making this up. We're actually hearing this from reputable sources, multiple, that it's not going to have a charger in the box. So hey, I mean, take the good with the bad, I guess, because it doesn't take away from the fact that this design is nearly perfect. The iPhone 12 is also going to have a smaller notch, which is something that I can't tell based on what I'm holding in my hand. There's been a couple of models floating around. Some have the bigger notch, some have the smaller notch, but unanimously, we're pretty much sure that it is going to shrink the notch, because I just can't fathom Apple releasing another phone that has the same notch from 2017 when every other manufacturer has done a hole punch design or something more innovative with the notch. But right here is our very best look yet at the iPhone 12. Obviously, I'll keep all of you updated as we get more complete versions of this, as we finalize the camera. I mean, Apple's still, I think, in the prototyping process or almost done with the final design themselves. So this is just a glance as to what they've been up to. And I mean, even amid a pandemic, I can tell you right now, they've been doing a good job. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you learned something new. If you did, drop a like, and of course, hit subscribe so you don't miss out on any cool stuff like this in the future. I've been Sam. Love you guys, and I'll catch all of you in the next one.